Happy October, my fellow commanders of call. My name is Dan, and Chris, what's going on there?
I'm auditioning to be a Ravens wide receiver.
Oh, gotcha. Cool. Yeah, well, you're doing a great job so far. I think they might be able to get you. Sign you to a one-year deal, and then you can break your ankle.
Yes.
But yeah, my name is Dan.
I'm Chris.
And welcome to Commanding Caws, the Baltimore, Washington area football talk show where we're Ravens and Commanders fans, but we like to talk pretty much about the whole NFL. We just have a bias. And this week, man, it's almost Friday the 13th, Chris.
It is. It's kind of exciting to be 100% honest. That's usually a pretty good lucky day for me.
It's in October, too. Which, figure, watch Friday the 13th on Friday the 13th. Why not?
I'm 100% with you on that one. That's a good idea.
We got some games coming up this week, and, well, let's talk about it after this video. All right, so, Chris, just a quick recap here. We did not so great last week with our picks. For those of you who are unaware, we're doing pick'ems this NFL season, and it's kind of Chris versus me. There'll be a winner and a loser. Right now, Chris is in the lead with 51-27. I'm at 45-33, but let's go ahead and talk about these games from last week. I want to hear what you have to say about that Bears-Commanders game because I have a lot of thoughts.
Yeah, they definitely shouldn't have lost to the Bears. That's not really a good team to lose to. Justin Fields kind of put a hurting on him, and DJ Moore made me proud. I'm glad that he actually did something. Who knows? Maybe the Bears just flipped the switch and they're going to start lighting up the league.
I don't think that's going to be the case, but of all the games for them to finally decide to use DJ Moore, why did it have to be this game?
100% agree with you on that.
It was sad to watch as a Commanders fan because we should have beaten them. I think it came down to poor coaching. Obviously, that offensive line is just awful. And I remember reading a comment on Reddit, on this subreddit I follow regarding the Commanders. Somebody said the thought going into this was that our defensive line would carry our rookie quarterback to success, and it's really the opposite. Our defense and our offensive line are just not doing as good as they should be, and Sam Howell's out there making clutch throws. He's actually doing really well. You can see he has talent, and he's trying, but there's nobody protecting him, and half the time, he only threw to Terry McLaurin like maybe 5 times, if I remember correctly. Antonio Gibson was doing his job. I thought he did a pretty good job as a receiver, not as a running back. But even still, Brian Robinson wasn't doing that great. It was a very disappointing game. I turned it off. I was going to stay up if they would have won.
Nah, don't worry. Both our teams kind of dropped the ball, one would say. What about that Bills-Jaguars game? I did say, I think last video, that I thought the Jaguars could put up a fight because they are in their home turf.
Yeah, I don't know what the deal was there. It was probably jet lag more than anything for the Bills, probably.
100%. That's exactly what I think it is. That's kind of why I'm nervous about the Ravens game, because last time they went overseas, they lost 44-7.
Yeah, we'll talk about that for sure.
Then we got the Saints and Patriots, and my buddy Dan got his pick right, and I got mine wrong. They got shut out, actually. I am not a firm believer in mac and cheese, but I thought that defense would do something. They did absolutely nothing, and they lost 2 of their star defensive players because of that game. So it's going to be kind of rough for the Patriots now. I honestly think they should do a fire sale and start rebuilding that team.
I had a thought earlier, like, what if Brady comes back just for, like, one more season and they get another Super Bowl? It would be awful, and I would hate it, but at this point, I feel like they'd be desperate enough to do it.
I think he'd get hurt with that offensive line.
Probably.
Offensive line's decent, but I still think he'd get hurt. I don't think he can do it.
Yeah, plus he's really got nothing else left to prove. Well, let me ask you, was this more so the Patriots are bad or the Saints are good?
I think the Saints are decent, and they capitalize on the Patriots' mistakes.
Sure.
I think the Patriots are bad, though.
100% agree with that. But then we have the Colts. They beat the Titans, which Richardson was out with an injury at some point during the game, but Jonathan Taylor, he got his contract. That was good, at least.
Yes, he did.
$14 million a year, 3 years.
And then Gardner Minshew's going to start their next game for him. And
yeah, we'll talk about the next game, but we both predicted the Colts would win against the Titans, and yeah, that happened. But, okay, you go ahead and take the lead on this one.
Well, I have no clue what you're talking about. What do you want to talk about here? You talking about the Steelers-Ravens game? That game, and you put it in our notes last week that the Steelers watched the Ravens lose this. I 100% was with you because it was in Pittsburgh. One of the YouTubers I watched straight up said, he goes, "This is the game. These are the type of games that keep Mike Tomlin above 500," and I agree with him. The Ravens just I don't even think Lamar looked at the fumbling problem is a problem though. He needs to control that ball. But
I don't think he played that bad. It was just like Rashad Bateman, he dropped a touchdown pass.
yep,
And Zay Flowers dropped a couple.
yep.
Odell Beckham, he got injured again. I don't know if he caught anything. Personally, I don't remember.
Zay got
But
lit up by T.J. Watt also.
it's unfortunate because Lamar, I thought, was honestly doing pretty good. I thought
Mm-hmm.
it really was just, or even Mark Andrews was having a hard time catching things.
Yep,
That was really disappointing.
it reminded me of like 2016 Ravens. I think it's 2016 is what I'm thinking of when we had like Mike Wallace and that was it. Like this is the best receiving core I've seen the Ravens have, and that amount of drop passes. I don't think there was really that many drop passes all year, and then like they more than doubled the amount of drop passes they have because that game made me extremely salty. Yeah.
Do you think Harbaugh's days are numbered? Is it his fault?
No, I think it was just a tough game for him. He did have a weird 4th and 2 call that he played instead of taking the points when they could have been up by 2 scores. Analytics probably said one thing. I'm a firm believer in analytics, but at the same time, you got Justin Tucker. Go up 2 scores. 4th downs haven't really been too friendly to us as of recent, in my personal opinion, compared to years past. We're not the Eagles. We can't do the tush push.
Well, then we had the Panthers-Lions, which this was a pretty easy kitty win for the Lions here.
Yeah, the Kitten Bowl. The Lions walked out victorious. There wasn't really much to say besides the Lions look pretty good.
Yeah.
And the Panthers look really bad.
I don't know what the deal was. I actually heard a rumor that David Tepper meddled to get Bryce Young because he believed the hype and maybe they were going to actually go for CJ Stroud. The Panthers are, if I'm correct, the only team without a win so far this season.
I think you're
because
correct.
the Bears just got
that.
one.
Yeah.
But let's go ahead and talk about CJ Stroud. The Texans lost to the Falcons, but it was only like a field goal or a couple points, right?
Yeah, that was a good game. I look for the Texans to keep pushing on. CJ Stroud hasn't thrown a pick yet. He's thrown 7 touchdowns. He beat the rookie record for completions, I do believe, passing Dak. That's wild.
Yeah, I mean, that again, my note was that could have gone either way, so
Yeah.
It is what it is. But then we had the Giants and the Dolphins. That was easily a Dolphins win. Whereas, that's another one I got right and you got wrong. I said the Bengals would beat the Cardinals. Okay, so last year they were in the same position. They were starting out, I think, like 3-2 or something like that. Or no, 2-3, excuse me. They bounced back. They made the AFC Championship. And Joe Burrow, he's obviously talented. You can argue he's the best quarterback in our division.
Oh, absolutely. I 100% agree with that.
I think maybe it's just growing pains. I don't know. Maybe just, again, he's got the injury. A couple things just haven't specifically worked as well for the past couple weeks. So maybe this kind of will be in the way that you kind of jokingly said the Bears would bounce back. Maybe this is where the Bengals bounce back.
No, I actually 100% agree with you on that. I think that was a bounce back game for the Bengals. I picked the Cardinals upset just because the Bengals hadn't done anything. That Bengals game kind of showed me, don't sleep on the Bengals. They're still out there.
Moving on to our next game, I had higher expectations for the Rams because Cooper was back, Cooper Kupp. He was making good catches, him and Puka Nacua.
Yep.
I guess just the Eagles were the better team.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that. I actually think it's kind of similar to the 49ers-Cowboys game. I think both winners are going to face each other in the NFC Championship, personally, just because Eagles look good, and so do the 49ers.
Really? You don't think the Lions will get to the NFC Championship?
I think they could. They're a scrappy team. I think they're a year away. Then we have the game of the week. The Jets and the Broncos, and it was ugly. And the Broncos talked all of that smack. Well, let me phrase that. And with the Broncos, Sean Payton was talking all that smack in the offseason. And guess what? Nathaniel Hackett came in there and whatcha, smacked him around. So, it really didn't smack him around. It was an ugly game, but Jets won. That's all that matters at the end of the day. I did get that one right. You did pick the Broncos.
I guess it really came down to which team do the football gods hate the most, and I just thought the Jets was the obvious answer. Nothing can go right for the Jets, it seems. So that's kind of why I was thinking the Broncos might be on the upturn, but yeah, that makes me even more sad that the Broncos beat the Bears and we didn't. So, okay, I didn't watch this game, but apparently there was some hard ref ball going on here with the Chiefs and the Vikings.
Yeah, there was. I watched a little bit of it during dinner.
I did watch a recap, and I saw a pretty blatant pass interference that wasn't called.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And the Vikings ended up losing JJ from this, so kind of rough. I think Jordan Addison will be able to do good for him, but it's kind of rough to see JJ go down.
The important thing is, why wasn't Taylor Swift there?
Then we had the Cowboys taking on the 49ers, and both of us said 49ers. obviously, because we thought that they were the better team. And guess what happened, Dan? Your favorite team it made me feel better that the Ravens lost. I was like, the Ravens lost only by 7. What are you doing, Dallas?
As a fan of a divisional rival, obviously I don't root for the Cowboys.
Mm-hmm.
But the truth is, I don't hate really any player on that team. I have a great amount of respect for like Micah Parsons. I think he's a beast. I think Dak Prescott's actually a pretty chill guy. Like, I think he would be a nice person to hang out with. I don't like Jerry Jones. That's another story. As a whole, though, I can't say I really hate the Dallas Cowboys. My problem with Dallas, and I feel like a lot of people's problems with Dallas, and this goes beyond the NFC East, is that Dallas fans will not ever shut the up about how good they are every year.
You're absolutely right on that.
Okay, look. The Commanders haven't made an NFC championship since, 91, 92, something like that, when the last time they won the Super Bowl. So it's been longer than Dallas, but at least we don't constantly say every year we're going to the Super Bowl. We suck and we know it.
Yeah,
so
I 100% agree with everything you just said.
So it was nice to watch the Cowboys lose and just see, I know people hate him. I actually kind of love Stephen A. Smith just because of how he bags on the Cowboys. And I think hate's a strong word in this case. But, man, they are annoying.
So, the Packers and Raiders kind of flip-flop for me. I don't think the Raiders are a good team at all. And I thought the Packers would be a pretty good team, but, yeah. Kind of puts some doubt on me about the Packers now. I don't know how I feel about them.
I had a little bit more hope for the Packers as well. I thought the Raiders were kind of just lack of a better term, dumpster fire. Yeah. Obviously, I think Matt LaFleur is a better overall coach than Josh McDaniels, but I don't really know what happened here. Tom Grossi put out a video kind of explaining it all, and so watch that video. I think he makes some great points, but he kind of says it all, and there's nothing really else I can add to it besides, I as an outsider looking in, I don't know what happened there either.
So with that puts you at 45-33, and myself at 51-27, making it a 6-game difference. We're approaching week 8. We're pretty close to it. How do you feel at this midway point?
Yeah, I agree with what you said. It's an interesting season so far for sure. I think there's going to be some surprises when it comes to the playoffs. I think some teams are going to get in by the skin of their teeth. I think the biggest thing I can just hope for is that the Chiefs don't make the Super Bowl. And it's not because I'm a hater of the Chiefs. It's just kind of like the Patriots thing. It's like give somebody else a chance at this point. You know what I mean?
No, I 100% agree with that. I do like the Chiefs a little bit, so I wouldn't be too mad if they got in there. But I'd like to see a team like the Bengals get a rematch again. Obviously want to see the Ravens go, but going into it, we got the Broncos and Chiefs.
You know, they say any given Sunday, technically in this case Thursday, I think the Chiefs are just the better overall team. I think because this is a rivalry game, the Broncos are going to play harder than people expect them to play. I don't know if it's going to be like a 50-point blowout like it was with Miami, but I could see maybe being at like 35-10.
Ooh, yeah, I could see that. I think they're going to drop 50 on them, though. I think it's going to be like 56 to like 13, something like that.
I just don't think the Broncos are going to take it sitting down, particularly because I don't think that they've beaten the Chiefs in the last, I could be wrong, 6 years, something like that.
It's something like that. I was going to say the same thing.
We'll see what happens. But then we have a game that we may stream, we may not, we'll see. Ravens-Titans. My initial reaction was Ravens, but considering how poorly we played last week, I almost picked the Titans. I
did too.
Just going to go with my gut here and say the Ravens. On paper, they're the better team, but wouldn't be surprised if we both got this wrong, because we're both picking the Ravens, right?
Yeah, I'm picking the Ravens. The Ravens should be 5-0 right now. Highly disappointed. They've slipped 2 games that they played down to competition. It just bugs me they're not 5-0. I am excited I'm able to watch this game, though, on the NFL Network. So that'll be awesome. Look at that. They got us lined up side by side, so we'll make this easy. Who do you got for the Commanders at the Falcons?
So Falcons are 3-2. Commanders are 2-3. If I'm using my head, Atlanta's favored to win. I think the Commanders may bounce back because they're on a 3-game losing streak right now. I wouldn't be surprised, though, if the Falcons came in and kind of just slapped them around. But, I'll go with Commanders again and just hope and pray.
So I'm actually betraying you on this one. I think Bijan's going to have a really good game on this.
I will say I think Sam Howell is better than Desmond Ridder, based on what I've seen.
Absolutely. I 100% agree with that. The Falcons have a better offensive line, I think, than the Commanders do. And if Sam Howell had a better offensive line, I think you guys would be 3-2 at least.
Yeah, we almost beat the Eagles, which I don't know if that says more about the Eagles than it does us, but...
Could be frauds. We'll find out.
I'm not going to fault you for picking the Falcons here, but I'm going to go with Commanders here. Who you got? 49ers and Browns.
49ers and the Browns. Tough call here. I think I'm going to go with the 5-0 49ers, but if Deshaun Watson was playing, I would actually pick the Browns as an upset.
What's his deal? He's got like a wrist injury or something like that.
It's something like that. He's just not playing well, I don't think. So they're just.
How ironic. What?
Oh, that's a good one. But yeah, I personally think the 49ers are just going to rock the Browns. That defense,
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be as bad as the Cowboys game, though. I think this will be like a 27-17, 27-10 game. Something like that, because the Browns have a good defense.
I could see that. I'm thinking maybe like 24-10, something like that.
Yeah, it's a good score.
I mean, Brock Purdy, people are saying he could be MVP this year. I buy into that.
I'm on the Tua bus for that, to be 100% honest with you. I also would like to see CMC get it, because he has had a consecutive touchdown in like something ridiculous, like 16, 17 games in a row.
Running backs usually don't get that, so we'll see.
Yeah, I'm hoping he can beat that record. That'd be pretty cool, and I'd love to see him get the MVP. But who you got for the Saints-Texans?
Now, this is a game that could go either way.
Yep.
I'm going to go with the Saints. Well, is Derek Carr playing again?
I believe so.
I think just on paper they're the better team, but if the Texans did beat them here, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree with that. I personally think the Texans are going to win this game. I have a lot of faith in them currently. It's kind of a challenging game. New Orleans is favored, but I'm going to go with the Texans on this one.
But then moving forward, I think we both pretty easily are picking the Dolphins to beat the Panthers. We got a 4-1 team versus an 0-5 team. I don't think really much else needs to be said there, especially since the Dolphins put up 70 points on the Broncos.
I think they could do it again.
Then we got the Seahawks and Bengals, which we're differing here. Now, I know I said the Bengals might bounce back, but, well, again, it's kind of what I've been saying. They ride or die with Joe Burrow.
Yep.
So if he's healthy, that'll sway me maybe potentially, but I just think overall the Seahawks are a better team.
I think the offense for the Bengals is better than the Seahawks, but I think the Seahawks have a better defense. It's a 3-1 team versus a 2-3 team that should be better. It would not shock me if the Seahawks absolutely rock the Bengals. I actually am going with Cincinnati because it's in Cincy.
I'm debating switching it, but now I'll probably stick with the Seahawks.
Hey, you might pick it right there.
Okay, you mentioned earlier that Justin Jefferson is out, right?
Yep.
I think if the Bears do what they did against the Commanders, they could beat the Vikings.
Absolutely. I think the Bears could beat the Vikings on this, but I think Jordan Addison's going to have a great game, so that is why I'm personally going with the Vikings on this. The Bears, I will be deeply confused about the Bears if they play well. We'll put it that way. Then you got
we got the Colts and the Jaguars.
Yeah. So personally, I'm going with the Jaguars on this. I think the Jags are a way better team. Anthony Richardson's going to be out. It's going to be Gardner Minshew again. I don't think that's as much of a downgrade as people might think it is. I mean, the Colts beat the Ravens. I mean, the Colts are not a bad team. If Jonathan Taylor plays, he could light it up, and that would kind of sway me to go with the Colts a little bit, but we're going to currently go with the Jags.
Yeah, I'm going with the Jags. Just on paper, I think they're better, but yeah. Then we both have the Raiders being the Patriots. Honestly, a week ago, you probably would have told me Patriots, I would have said it, but with how poorly they played last week, I'm just going to go with the Raiders.
That's exactly my mindset there. I was going to pick the Patriots. I had it written down, and then I was like, that mac and cheese is spoiled.
Well, then what you got for the Cardinals and Rams?
I would like to see a Cardinals upset. I would like to see a really good game, to be 100% honest with you, but I'm going with the Rams on it.
Yeah, I think the Rams were just, again, on paper, the better team. The Cardinals could put up a fight. It could be an upset. I think this is more of a toss-up than the Vikings and Bears, to be honest with you, or the Seahawks and the Bengals. But then we got the Lions and the Bucs. That's something. The Buccaneers are coming off a bye week, so they might be dangerous. Who knows? But what do you think?
Tampa. I got to go with my Lions, man. I mean, they're not my Lions, but they look good. There's not much more to say than that, to be 100% honest with you. Bucs don't look bad, though. This could be a really good game, like maybe 46 points scored altogether to 50.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Lions again on paper. They're just the better team. The Bucs, again, are not bad. They're doing a lot better than I think anyone really predicted they would be.
Absolutely. Better than what we thought.
But then we got the Eagles and the Jets.
You're going with the Jets, right?
God hates the Jets. But no, I'm going to go with the Eagles here just because, again, on paper, better team. That's all I have to say about that.
100% thought about taking the Jets just as kind of like a meme that they're going to beat the Eagles. I think this game's going to be ugly, and I think it's going to get ugly quick.
Then we got the Giants and the Bills. I don't know why the Giants keep getting primetime, just saying. But this is going to be a pretty easy Bills win, I'm pretty sure.
It's because people bought into Daniel Jones, and they definitely shouldn't have.
Can't they change these? Like, I guess they can,
Yeah, they
but
talked about it, and I haven't seen a shift yet. They've said that they can like flex games out of prime time and put different games in. Put the Lions Bucks game in prime time. I think that'd be a much better game. Even the Vikings at Bears would be a better game than the Giants at Bills.
Eagles Jets would be too. It's not that like the Bills aren't worth watching in prime time. It's just the Giants. Like, why are we spending our time watching the Giants in prime time?
Giants are just not a good team this year.
But let me ask what you think about the Cowboys playing the Chargers.
I'm really tempted to take the Chargers on this, to be 100% honest with you. But I think the Cowboys are going to want to make a point that they're not a bad team.
It isn't just me who thinks this. They've been escaping their own incompetence, the Chargers have, this whole season.
Yeah.
Like, the fact that Brandon Staley has not been fired yet is kind of amazing to me. So, yes, on paper, I'm going with the Cowboys. I think they're going to be salty after the 49ers game, and they're going to beat the Chargers. But I would not shed a tear if the Chargers won.
I was pretty happy if the Chargers won. I think that'd be hilarious. It would help the Ravens if the Chargers lost because they are an AFC team. That's week 6 for us, guys.
At this point, I mean, we're only a third of the way through the season almost, but if you had me guess right now who's going to be in the Super Bowl, it'd probably be San Francisco versus, like, maybe Miami.
Yeah, no, I think that'd be a great game, too.
Yeah, East Coast, West Coast. Got two teams that haven't won a Super Bowl, and I know the 49ers haven't won in probably like 30 years. The Dolphins haven't won in 50 years. That'd be interesting.
I think the 49ers would win it, though.
I think so too.
So, guys, we greatly appreciate all the love and support you guys have been showing for the video. Make sure to throw down your Super Bowl predictions in the comments. We want to see those things. Is it the Bears versus the Cincinnati Bengals? I don't know. Just throw out some random teams. Tell us how your team's doing. Tell us how your day's going. Greatly appreciate all the support, though, guys. And we will catch you in the next one. Peace.
Absolutely. Take care.